This is the Anglican Cable Network, Nigeria ACNN television. It's good to know that you are there watching. It's the news on the hour. I am Folusho Taiwo. You're welcome. The Primate of all Nigeria Anglican Communion, His Grace the Most Reverend Nicholas D. Oko, has called on the church in Nigeria to, as a matter of urgency, live in unity, which according to him is the only way for the church to be established and conquer their enemies. Primate Oko made this call while it was fielding questions from journalists in Abuja on his view on the church and the nation. The primate said the task of uniting the church will not be an easy one because the church are so splintered that there is no unity to regain.
The church are so splintered that to achieve unity is almost a mirage now. Everybody is almost a denomination. Any street you go to, there is a pastor there who does not relate with anybody and is accountable to no one. I do hope that the churches, under the leadership of Acnn, at one point or the other, will be strong enough, will be courageous enough, will be united enough, will be bold enough to take the bull by the horn.
Primate Oko further called on Nigerian politicians to tread with caution, and the 2019 election is around the corner, adding that the reason why the politicians have offices is because Nigeria is still in existence as a country. But a situation where there is no country, there will be no offices for them.
As we get closer to the elections, desperate things will be done by politicians. What we beg them, however, is that if there is no country, there will be no office. In the course of struggling for office, they should not destroy Nigeria. Because if Nigeria is destroyed, there will be no place for anybody. And another point is that this struggle has implications for security. Security for individuals, our families, and the work we do. We still want to be Nigerians. Whatever happens, we want to be Nigerians. So as they struggle, they should bear in mind that after all the office struggle, Nigeria must be there. If there is no Nigeria, there is nothing. If Nigeria is there, then there will be politics. If there is no Nigeria, there will be anarchy. So we do not want anarchy. We do not want bloodbath. Those who want office will get office, but they should spare Nigeria.
The primate also called on Nigerians to be calm and peace-abiding. The Primate of all Nigeria, His Grace the Most Reverend Dr. Nicholas D. Oko, has charged chancellors, registrars, and legal officers to always be of good conduct and diligent in their service to God, and not to be biased at any point in time in the course of their duty. Primate Oko made this call while speaking at the opening ceremony of the Conference of Chancellors, Registrars, and Legal Officers held at the Basilica of Grace Church, Gudu District, Diocese of Abuja, Anglican Communion, with the theme, Proclaiming Christ Faithfully to the Nations. Addressing the conference, the primate noted that indeed, Christ must be proclaimed faithfully to all nations. Hence, he made reference to the issue of homosexuality and the stand the Church of Nigeria has taken about it.
And now they are on it. They want to get us to sanction homosexual lifestyle and lesbianism. If you don't want to follow the Bible, you want to do it your own way, please count us out. What they were doing the church they are referring to in Brazil, that church believes in Jesus Christ, fine Anglican church. Because they oppose the homosexuals, they sanction them. The one in the US, the Acnn, Anglican Church in North America, they drove them out of the church because they said they are opposing the homosexuals. Now, what we have done in the Gafcon family and Global South is to gather all these people, keep them intact, and maintain them as Anglicans. And we have sent in bishops. As far as God has placed this large number of Christians in our hands, we will not preside over their being led astray. And so
he also took time to appreciate legal officers for their output in the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, describing them as formidable force. He said they make him feel as a big man.
I want to close by showing my appreciation to the legal men. They make me feel a big man. That in spite of all the some people thought by now I will be in jail. Because they said as more than that. We are going to destroy you, we are going to pull you down, we are going to sink you, we are going to do all that. But God raised a formidable army and fought back. May God bless your effort. It will be difficult to mention you individually, but sometime we will have occasion to meet to say how grateful we are. And I thank you that you made me feel so big and so important. So, if you want to challenge me, be very careful.
Speaking with newsmen after declaring the conference open, he urged the legal officers to do more of mediation and ensure that they step in for the church, especially when crisis develops.
As chancellors, registrars, and legal officers of the church, they should do more of mediation. Ensure that when a crisis is developing, it's nipped in the bud. We should not wait till we go to court. And when some people are spoiling for fight and they are filled with fury to go to court and sue and damage things, they should step in before it involves full-fledged litigation. Because when a church is in court, the church is on trial. And those who hear one version may not hear the other version. And it gives a very wrong image to the church. So our appeal to them, first and foremost, is to do everything to guide the bishop legally. Because law is a social science and it touches every aspect of life. It's not enough to say you are in the church. Some people may not feel okay. They may feel they need to get, fairness from somewhere, justice. So the lawyers and the legal officers should advise the bishop, encourage him to follow the constitution of the church and also to be fair and just to everyone.
Meanwhile, the Chancellor of Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, ordained Ajumogobia, among others, narrated the essence of the conference and plans they have put in place in order to achieve the responsibilities they are charged with as regards to making sure that crisis is avoided where they seem to occur in churches.
Part of what we're discussing, you know, as legal people in the church, we shouldn't see ourselves as people who are here to defend the church when crisis comes, but to try and avert crisis by trying to preempt crisis. For example, if you know that something is brewing, you can nip it in the bud. They say a stitch in time saves 9. You know, we don't have to wait until it goes to court. We should, in fact, try and keep matters out of court. And those matters that are in court, we're doing everything we can to take them out of court. We're very happy that the Owerri Diocese, for example, was in court. They're now out of court. We're very pleased about that. Lagos is still in court. We hope it will also be resolved out of court. We're Christians and we should be able to resolve the differences we have without going to court.
It's one of the contributions that this conference, which we started 8 years ago, has been able to make to the church. First of all, when we came on board as registrar, we realized that the chancellors, legal officers and registrars were working independently according to their own dioceses. We then thought that we should bring them together and work together as the legal officers of the church. And in so doing, we're able to not only teach them their responsibilities, but to let them know that being a chancellor, being a registrar, being a legal officer is a ministry. Since I came on board, if there is any case in any region, we direct all the chancellors, legal officers and registrars who are practitioners in that region to go and appear in court and work on the case together for and on behalf of the church.
I think what the Prime Minister reiterated in the course of his opening statement is that for us as Christian lawyers, we must be committed to speaking the truth, advising our bishops and congregation in the way of the Lord, and ensure that we avoid crises where they seem to occur. Our responsibility first and foremost is to God through Christ Jesus, and the anointing of the Holy Spirit grant us the wisdom to ensure that peace obtains in various dioceses and in the Anglican community generally.
Those in attendance at the conference were legal officers, the Dean, Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, His Grace the Most Reverend Dr. Ali Buba Lamido, Vice Chancellor, Ajayi Crowther University in Oyo State, the Right Reverend Professor Dapo Ashaju, Archbishop Niger Delta Province, Most Reverend Tunde Adeleye, among others. President Muhammadu Buhari has been elected the chairman of the Authority of Heads of States and Government of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Buhari's election was one of the high points of the 53rd session of the Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS, held in Lomé, the Togolese capital. A statement by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, quoted that the president, in his acceptance remarks, said he did not offer himself for the post, but they refused to take his no for an answer. According to the president, he is truly humbled and he pledged to serve and work with all to deliver on peace, security, good governance, and socio-economic development of the sub-region and take the organization to greater heights. President Buhari also commended his predecessor and President of Togo, Faure Gnassingbé Eyadema, for successfully hosting two important meetings of the Joint Economic Community of Central Africa and ECOWAS, as well as the 53rd Ordinary Session of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS. The chairman was presented with the emblem of ECOWAS, while the next meeting was fixed for December 21 in Abuja, the Nigeria capital. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari on his emergence as chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The congratulatory message came in a statement signed by NAN's National Public Relations Officer, Bestman Okorafor, in Enugu. Buhari emerged as ECOWAS chairman at the end of the Commission's meeting in Togo to replace Togolese President Faure Gnassingbé Eyadema. NANS therefore stated that it was joining West Africans and Nigerians in congratulating Buhari, stressing that Nigerian students consider this as victory for all Nigerians. Senator representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani, has urged the Christian Association of Nigeria not to be blinded by political parties, but be guided by conscience and convictions about what is humanly judged about any candidate. Shehu Sani, in a meeting with Kaduna Central CAN officials in Kaduna, said that partisan politics has divided Nigeria more than religious differences. Commenting on the security challenges in his region, he said the bloodshed and mass killings going on in the areas of Beningwari, Chikun, Kajuru, Igabi, and other parts of the country is worrisome and condemnable. He urged the CAN officials to summon all political leaders and aspirants who want to occupy elective offices to come and address them as 2019 approaches. Responding, the CAN chairman, Kaduna Central, Reverend Shokolo Kasuwa, eulogized Senator Sani for his outstanding contributions at the floor of the Senate on issues of national importance. Governor Samuel Otom has alerted Benue people that large herds of cattle are being mobilized to storm the state with mercenaries with a view to causing more displacement and mayhem. Otom disclosed at the Benue People's House Markodi during a solidarity visit on him by the Christian Elders Forum, Benue State Chapter. The governor noted that what transpired recently at the State Assembly was just one out of the many plans hatched by external forces and championed by a leader of the All Progressive Congress APC in the state, Senator George Akume, to cause unrest in the state. He noted that the cover provided by security operatives for 8 members of the State Assembly was a pointer to the fact that some security chiefs who were supposed to help protect lives and properties had been compromised for political reasons. He recalled his earlier assertion that giants will be on the way to hinder the progress of Benue State, but also reminded them to move to the righteous side with God, stressing that victory was imminent in the end. Governor Otom noted that necessary legal avenues had been taken to address issues relating to a purported impeachment move against him and suspension of 7 members of the APC faction in the assembly, adding that what transpired was entirely a nullity. In an address, leader of the delegation and chairman, Benue Christian Leaders Forum, Bishop Nathan Nyom, stated that the church will continue to pray for the governor and the state in general for peace and stability in the land. A pressure group, Bring Back Our Girls, has asked the federal government to stop the secret burial of soldiers killed on the battlefield. In a statement signed by its leader, Obi Ezekisili, Aisha Yesufu, and Florence Ozo, the group made this call while reacting to photos of mass burial of some fallen soldiers days after Nigerian military denied its soldiers were attacked. In its statement, the Bring Back Our Girls, which has been clamoring for the return of abducted Chibok schoolgirls since 2014, described the action as unfortunate. We shall now go on a short commercial break. Viewers, we shall be back. Please stay with us.
Day and night, we are on the road, following all the stories, and it takes a lot to earn your trust, to give you the coverage of always trusted, because no one has more experience to tell your story, to keep you informed.
China's television news at 10, showing on Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, starting from August.
You are welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, please download the ACNN app for Android from Google Play Store. And now to some foreign news. As Zimbabweans take part in their first presidential elections in nearly 40 years without Robert Mugabe on their ballot paper, the Ecumenical Zimbabwe Council of Churches has monitored the election at polling stations throughout the country. According to the reports from the polling stations, the election has been mainly peaceful elections with some abnormalities. Report also has it that front runners are current acting President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who took over when Robert Mugabe was forced to stand down last November, and opposition leader Nelson Chamisa. Earlier in July, bishops and pastors from Zimbabwe Council of Churches led an ecumenical service at the Anglican Cathedral of St. Mary and All Saints in Harare to pray for election observers in words directed towards the politicians. The church leaders said that in political competition, lots of words are used and messages exchanged to promote one party for candidate over and against the other. But they urge politicians to always find ways to work together for the prosperity of all Zimbabweans. After all has been said and done, the presiding Anglican Bishop of US-based Episcopal Church, His Grace the Most Reverend Michael Corey, has been reportedly resting comfortably after his surgery following a diagnosis of prostate cancer. The 65-year-old Bishop Michael, who made headlines around the world with his sermon at the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in May, announced last week in an open letter published by the Episcopal Church of USA's Public Affairs Office that he had decided on surgical treatment after a variety of tests, consultations, and conversations with his family. The surgery was to remove his prostate gland, and in last week's statement, Bishop Michael said that prognosis looks very good and quite positive. The US-based Episcopal Church issued a statement in which they said that the presiding bishop's family and his medical team confirmed that the surgery went well as had been expected. They reported that Bishop Corey is resting and a full recovery continues to be anticipated. The statement also confirmed that Bishop Michael and his family are touched by the outpouring of prayers and well wishes. In their thankfulness, they asked for privacy during his recovery. The presiding bishop anticipates resuming his duties in September. Afghanistan will hold its presidential election on April 20, 2019, 6 months after parliamentary and provincial council polls. The announcement was made by the country's electoral body during a televised news conference by the Independent Election Commission. Spokesman and Commissioner Havezullah Ashemi, who also stated that security and funding, as well as the short time frame between elections, will present the biggest challenges to the polls. Almost 14% or 56 or more than 400 districts are fully controlled by the Taliban, while 30% are contesting. According to figures published by the Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction SIGA, the parliamentary election should have been held in 2015. However, they were postponed in the aftermath of the badly flawed presidential election of 2014. Rising security threats and unresolved disputes about election reforms, according to IEC figures, some 8.9 million people have registered to vote. And so that's it on this edition of the News on the Hour. We want to thank you and thank you profusely for watching. I am Folusho Taiwo. Please mend it. Don't end it in a hurry. God bless you.